Hello, Laverne here, and thank you for joining me. May this video be a blessing to you, and may it honor and glorify God and His kingdom. In this video, I'm going to be looking at the topic of after-birth abortion. Is it something that should be allowed? Should we extend the rights of a mother so that she would be able to dictate that doctors take the life of a newborn child? That's what is being questioned here in a recent article published by a medical journal. For two co-authors of a paper are saying that the law should be changed, that abortion should be extended to newborn babies. So I'm just going to get into reading this article, and I'll provide a link to it. The headline to it is, "No right to life for newborns. After birth abortion acceptable." Two Australian academics have received death threats after arguing in the Journal of Medical Ethics that newborn babies should be put to death if the mother wishes. They say killing a healthy newborn is the same as aborting a fetus. Alberto Giubilini and Francesca Minerva, doctors of philosophy in two major Australian universities, have received death threats for their article, "After Birth Abortion, Why Should the Baby Live?", which supports after birth abortion as permissible in all cases where abortion would be carried out. This is irrespective of whether the newborn is disabled or healthy. The authors maintain that abnormalities cannot always be detected in a fetus, and women cannot choose to abort or not. The serious philosophical problem arises when the same conditions that would have justified abortion become known after birth. In such cases, we need to assess facts in order to decide whether the same arguments that apply to killing a human fetus can also be consistently applied to killing a newborn human. Giubilini and Minerva go on to explain the terminology. "We propose to call this practice after-birth abortion rather than infanticide, to emphasize that the moral status of the individual killed is comparable with that of a fetus on which abortions in the traditional sense are performed, rather than to that of a child. Therefore, we claim that killing a newborn could be ethically permissible in all the circumstances where abortion would be." In their argument, the academics maintain that a newborn, especially in the first few days or weeks of life, is incapable of forming any aims or expectations about its future. So it cannot be considered a person with a moral right to life. On the other hand, those who have these abilities, such as the parents or siblings of the baby, have the right to decide whether their lives will be adversely affected should the baby live. Therefore, the rights and interests of the actual people involved should represent the prevailing consideration in a decision about abortion and after-birth abortion, they conclude. This not only applies, This does not only apply to cases where the newborn is handicapped, according to the authors. If the death of a newborn is not wrongful to her on the grounds that she cannot have formed any aim that she is prevented from accomplishing, then it should also be permissible to practice an after-birth abortion on a healthy newborn too, given that she has not formed any aim yet. The authors conclude criteria such as the cost, social, psychological, economic, for the potential parents are good enough reasons for having an abortion even when the fetus is healthy. If the moral status of the newborn is the same as that of the infant, and if neither has any moral value by virtue of being a potential person, then the same reasons which justify abortion should also justify the killing of the potential person when it is at the stage of a newborn. Okay, so that's the gist of it. Actually, I would like to explain a little bit about the Journal of Medical Ethics, who they are. Going to their webpage, this is what they had to say about themselves. The Journal of Medical Ethics is a leading international journal that reflects the whole field of medical ethics. The journal seeks to promote ethical reflection in conduct and scientific research and medical practice. It features original, full-length articles on ethical aspects of healthcare, as well as brief reports, responses, editorials, and other relevant material. To ensure international relevance, the Journal of Medical Ethics has an editorial advisory board from all around the world. Subscribers to the Journal of Medical Ethics also receive Medical Humanities Journal at no extra cost. Yeehaw. That's my input there, by the way. Journal of Medical Ethics is the official journal of the Institute of Medical Ethics. So I was curious, who is the Institute of Medical Ethics? So I went to their webpage, and this is what they had to say. The Institute of Medical Ethics is a charitable organization dedicated to improving education and debate in medical ethics. It is founder and co-owner of the Journal of Medical Ethics, so the two are tied together. So this is what they're pushing, medical ethics. Well, I don't think there's anything ethical about what is being proposed in this journal. So that's why I came up with the title that I did. It's become a worldwide acceptable thing nowadays to burn the Bible and to burn the Qu'ran. And the reason people are doing it, supposedly, is because they object to the moral and ethical teachings of both the Bible and the Quran. Well, if people object to the moral teachings found in these books, what then about this medical journal? If people find the books of the Bible and the Quran so morally objectionable, so detestable, what then about this medical journal that has published this article promoting infanticide, promoting the murder, the killing of live, healthy babies, saying that it is the mother and the siblings who should be able to decide the fate of this baby? So my question is, what do you think about it? Now, I hope I have a fairly good idea of what Christians would think about it. So it's really the atheists, the secularists, the secular humanists, the secular humanists. I'm interested in what you feel, especially those who have made videos promoting pro-choice. Those people who have stated that they find nothing wrong with abortion and that they do have a problem with those people who side with pro-life. If you have a problem with pro-life, if you believe that it is the mother, the woman, who should be able to decide the fate of the child in her womb, then what about the fate of the child after it's born? If you have no problem with a mother having an abortion in, say for example, the 7th month, what then about the baby that is born, is breathing? Do you agree with these two secular bioethicists? I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but that's what they claim to be. They are secular bioethicists. This is their field, secular bioethics. So, if you're a secular humanist, if you're an atheist, you consider yourself to be part of the secular community, do you agree with these two professors? Would you extend abortion further to the point where even a live, healthy baby could be killed? If not, why? Why would you object to that, but have no problem with a mother, say for example, having an abortion in her final trimester? At what point does life actually begin and you say enough is enough? The rights of the baby supersede the rights of the mother. I believe this is an important question. I also believe that this article really goes to show the depravity of the secular humanist, of the atheist, of the person who does not answer to a moral lawgiver. It is when people, they don't have to answer to anyone. When it's simply whatever they feel is right, that's acceptable. And that's where we are headed today. Right now, there will be people argue against this. The majority of people will argue against it, even atheists, even secular humanists. But given time, the movement will gain momentum. And we will find that it will gain popularity. And 10 years down the road, we are going to find some countries creating the first law where a healthy baby can be killed if the mother so desires. That's where we are headed today. So, what I would finally like to ask is, it's actually directed to certain atheist YouTubers. People who have made videos where they say abortion is acceptable, that they are pro-choice. I would like to know your thinking on this matter. At what point do you say enough is enough, that the baby's rights now supersede the rights of the mother? And if you would say, okay, those rights stop, the mother's rights end when the baby takes its first breath, why at that point? What makes you think that the baby is not alive prior to that? Where is your argument for abortion of any kind? So I would like to hear from people like Healthy Addict, Go Green. I would like to hear from someone like Thunderfoot, who has said that atheists should not make video responses or comments against another atheist. Thunderfoot makes the claim that atheists must stick together and that you shouldn't rail against, you shouldn't mention that another atheist is wrong, even if you believe that to be the case. So what about this instance, Thunderfoot? Do you still believe that atheists should remain silent concerning this matter? What about DPR Jones? Armra? What are your thoughts on this matter? For what's being promoted here is coming from the atheist community, is coming from the field of secular bioethics. Do you agree with what they are putting forth here? And if not, why? Alright, as always, I look forward to comments and messages. Till next time, peace and blessings.